Yes, ma'am.
Okay, beta. So hip joint is, as you said, it is ball and socket type of joint which is formed between the head of the femur and the acetabulum of the hip bone. Okay. So, and of course it is, as you said, it is synovial joint. The meaning is the inside of the joint capsule is covered with synovial membrane. Okay. Then, so what is the other ball and socket joint we usually have, beta? We have
Shoulder joint. Shoulder joint.
ha, shoulder joint. I hope you are seeing hip joint on the screen, beta.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Acha, okay, fine. Now see here. Now what are the various ligaments which take part in the formation of a joint? Basically, when you start any joint, these are the things which we should know better. Okay, as you said, between head of the femur and acetabulum, from outside there will be a covering all around. You call this covering as fibrous capsule. And if you remember, the three components of hip bone we have are ilium, ischium, and pubis, beta. Ilium, ischium, and pubis, right? So, from the ilium component, we have from the ilium component to femur, we have iliofemoral. From the pubic component to femur, we have pubofemoral, and from ischium to femur, we have ischiofemoral. Very easy to remember, first four components. Then, see, this is the head of the femur, and at the head of the femur you are finding in the center there is a depression which is called as fovea centralis. Fovea, that means there is a hollow depression. So from that fovea centralis to the acetabulum there is a notch over here, that is the acetabular notch, which is bridged by this ligament, that is transverse acetabular ligament. And the connection between the head of the femur to the transverse acetabular ligament, we have ligamentum teres, or one more name, ligament of the head of the femur. Where else did we come across the word ligamentum teres, beta?
Liver.
Excellent, Hema. Yeah, very good. Liver. So that is ligamentum teres, or the ligament of the head of the femur. Okay. Like any other joint, like even when you talk about the shoulder joint, if you remember, shoulder joint also was like a shallow between glenoid cavity and head of the humerus, no? So it was
Hmm.
deepened by an attachment of fibrocartilage all along its rim. Isn't it? Similarly, acetabulum is not as shallow as the glenoid cavity of the scapula bone, but still the acetabulum is also further deepened by the attachment of a fibrocartilage, which is called as acetabular labrum. Labrum means lips. Like lips, it is surrounding the acetabulum all around. Okay, and it is a fibrocartilage which actually deepens the acetabulum. Okay, now we should describe each and every part of this better, whatever we have here. So let us start with fibrous capsule. We should know from where till where the fibrous capsule is extending. When you see the superior attachments, it is attached all along the margins of acetabulum. Then these fibers of the fibrous capsule, they will be extending downwards and they will be attached to the femur. Now exactly where, now if you observe, see, this is neck of the this is head of the femur, neck of the femur, greater trochanter, lesser trochanter, isn't it? We have intertrochanteric line, and then we also have intertrochanteric crest, isn't it? So that means what is happening, like see here, it is inferiorly, superiorly it is attached all along the margins of the acetabulum. Inferiorly it covers the intertrochanteric crest, comma, like as you go behind greater trochanter, lesser trochanter, covering the intertrochanteric line. Okay, that is fibrous capsule. And the fibers will be like see, zona orbicularis. Orbicularis oris, you remember, beta? Orbicularis is something round. The fibers what we find in the fibrous capsule of the hip joint is also having certain directions, okay, which is like it has outer longitudinal fibers and inner circular fibers. This because hip joint is weight bearing joint, no? We are able to stand erect because of the presence of hip joint only. And what makes us superior to animals is our erect posture. Okay, and the strongest ligament which keeps our body erect is which ligament, beta? Iliofemoral ligament. Okay, beta? Iliofemoral ligament. One of the ligament what we have just now we are studying, no, iliofemoral. Basically, hip bone has how many parts? Ritika, Meghana?
Ilium, ischium, pubis.
Very good. Ilium, ischium, and pubis. So from ilium we have iliofemoral ligament. From ischium, this is ischium part, ischiofemoral. This is pubis part of the hip bone, pubofemoral. So now see here, iliofemoral ligament is inverted Y-shaped ligament, strongest ligament, which is also called as ligament of Bigelow. Okay, which keeps our body in erect position. When you just look at this, you can see the fibers of this ilioph. Actually all ligaments are nothing but thickening over the fibrous capsule. Suppose the joint capsule is surrounding all around, over the joint capsule whatever thickened structures we have are nothing but ligaments. Okay, so iliofemoral ligament is extending from the ilium bone, and you can see it is inverted Y shaped. Okay, whatever you remember, no problem. Are you all with me, beta? Meghana, Hema?
Yes, ma'am.
Ha. Where do you see popliteal fossa?
Knee joint, ma'am.
Yeah, behind the knee joint. Very good. Do you remember the boundaries, beta? What are the muscles of the back of the thigh? Just now I have mentioned, beta. Just now I have mentioned few muscles. No, yeah, this is our popliteal fossa. Semimembranosus, semitendinosus, biceps femoris. Just now I had mentioned, right? So popliteal fossa is a diamond-shaped fossa which is found behind the knee joint. Okay, so it has four boundaries. Like we have, like this is medial. Wherever you get this medial head of gastrocnemius, this is easy way to identify. This is medial side. This is lateral side. Okay. So superomedially, we have these muscles like semitendinosus. Underlying, we have semimembranosus and gracilis. Laterally, we have biceps femoris, that is superolaterally. Infерomedially, we have medial head of gastrocnemius. Inferolaterally, we have lateral head of gastrocnemius. Now, when you are dissecting the lower limb, when you have put the cadaver like with the in prone position, then you will see it is a diamond-shaped area. You start dissecting also in this plane only. So you will see you are going to reflect the skin first. Okay, so within the skin, you will come across cutaneous structures which you find in the roof. So roof, we have small saphenous vein which will be draining into popliteal vein. We have cutaneous nerves like peroneal communicating nerve, posterior division of medial cutaneous nerve of the thigh, then posterior cutaneous nerve of the thigh. Okay, these are the branches actually coming from which plexus? Lumbar plexus. Okay, this is roof. When you remove all the contents, when you clear all, cut all the muscles, you will come to the floor. So floor is formed by, see, this is the posterior aspect of the lower end of the femur, which is called as popliteal surface of the femur. Okay, we have two bones, tibia medially and fibula laterally. Okay, and here you are finding the capsule of knee joint, over which you have certain ligaments like fascia covering the popliteus muscle, and also we have oblique popliteal ligament. This ligament is oblique popliteal ligament. So these are the structures which are deeper inside, which form the floor of popliteal fossa. Once you know the floor, you should know contents, what is present. Why popliteal fossa is important? Because so much subcutaneous it is, like just below, if you just cut the roof, you will enter into these structures. Very sensitive, very dangerous, and very, like, you should be very careful if you are trying to do any surgical intervention. Okay, beta. So that means we have Here also vein structures, right? What are those? Popliteal vein, popliteal artery, and we have sciatic nerve finally bifurcating into two, that is tibial nerve and common peroneal nerve. Okay. The arrangement of structures in the upper one third of popliteal fossa is AVN. That means artery is medial, vein is middle, and nerve is lateral. Tibial nerve is lateral. In the middle, they are lying one above the other. Like nerve is most superficial, below which we have the popliteal vein, deeper inside we have popliteal artery. When you come lower one third, then when you see the lateral, medial to lateral, the structures are tibial nerve, then popliteal vein and popliteal artery. Okay, beta? So this is what you have to write. Okay, then because it is for 4 marks, that will be for you for 5 marks. This explanation is enough because popliteal artery itself will be coming as a separate question. Here you don't have that much time to elaborate beyond this. For now, you just read this much. Now, spermatic cord. What are the contents you see in spermatic cord, beta? Do you remember anything? Where do we find spermatic cord? In the Hema, Ritika?
Inguinal canal.
Very good. Inguinal canal. Okay. So the chief content of spermatic cord is dash. Ritika, you gave a very good answer, like it is found in the inguinal canal, spermatic cord. What is the chief content? Very important content of spermatic cord.
Vast difference.
Yes, beta, loudly.
Vast difference.
Vas difference. What is the other name of vas difference? It is something like
Vasa differentia. Vasa differentia.
ductus difference, no?
Sorry, ductus difference. Okay.
Yeah, beta, very good. See, like Ritika, everybody is telling, like spermatic cord is this yellow cord-like structure which you are finding in the inguinal canal, extending from the deep inguinal ring to superficial inguinal ring. So when you cut this spermatic cord and check, you are just giving one incision and you are curious enough to know what are the structures inside. The chief content you find there is vas difference, which is carrying the sperms, no? Then this is surrounded by so much of venous network because spermatogenesis can take place only if the body temperature is like the temperature here around the testis should be lower than the body temperature, for which we have so much of venous network which is called as pampiniform plexus of veins. Okay, we have genital branch of genitofemoral nerve, artery of ductus deferens, then testicular artery we have. Okay, then these are the coverings we have, beta. You should write each and every labeling if this question comes, spermatic cord. Okay, so we have external spermatic fascia, cremasteric fascia, internal spermatic fascia, artery of ductus deferens, testicular artery, artery of cremaster muscle, genital branch of genitofemoral nerve, outside ilioinguinal. This small things, whatever has been labeled, you should write thoroughly for spermatic cord. Okay. Then iliotibial tract, beta. Anybody remembers what is iliotibial tract? Hema? Thickening of deep fascia on the lateral compartment of the thigh, isn't it? Two muscles get inserted in the iliotibial tract. Anybody remembers? Gluteus maximus and tensor fascia lata. Okay. Are you all with me, beta? Or is there any problem?
Hello, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. There. Hello.
Yes. The screen is also not moving.
There,
Then I thought, is there any interference?
Okay.
Anyhow, this link will go in 5 minutes. I'll try showing the, if not, I'll send the link again. I don't know what happened. This screen got stuck only, better. It's not
okay.
And this book has opened in a different way today. I don't understand why like this. Okay, iliotibial tract is the thickening of fascia lata, that is deep fascia, what you see on the lateral compartment of the thigh beta. What is this is happening? No, I should not disturb it at all. This chapter only. Then branches of femoral artery is also one question. We have 3 superficial branches and 3 deep branches. No? What are those? Superficial, epigastric, superficial, circumflex iliac, and superficial external pudendal. Similarly, we have deep external pudendal, then deep circumflex iliac, then we have profunda femoris artery. Isn't it? Muscular branches are also there. Okay, that is for 2 marks. See, this is our iliotibial tract beta. This one. Iliotibial tract is the thickening of deep fascia, which is seen coming from the iliac crest, and it is extending to the lateral condyle of the tibia. 2 muscles are getting inserted here. One is gluteus maximus and the other is tensor fascia lata. Both muscles are also seen in the gluteal region. Okay, 2 marker this is. What are the major openings of diaphragm? IOA 8, 10, 12. Isn't it? I standing for inferior vena cava at 8th thoracic vertebra level. O standing for esophagus at the level of 10th thoracic vertebra level. A standing for aorta, which opens at the level of 12th thoracic vertebra. This is for 2 marks. That means for you it is 3 marks. Recently, I told you about development of pancreas, Ritika and Hemavita. Can you tell how is it formed? 2 marks. Dorsal pancreatic bird and ventral pancreatic bird are seen. They will grow over each other to form the entire gland, head, neck, body, tail of the gland. Okay. What is McBurney's point? These are all 2 markers. That's why I'm just discussing like that.
It is the tender point of appendix, ma'am.
Very good. It's the tender point. If you just palpate there, person feels so much deep pain which he cannot tolerate. So how do we form this McBurney's point better? From the umbilicus to the anterior superior iliac spine. Isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
The medial
Yes,
2/3 and lateral 1/3, if you join, if you just press over there will be severe pain in appendicitis case. That is McBurney's point. Okay. Histology of liver. What do we find? All these are recent questions, beta. Isn't it? Hexagonal hepatic lobule, central vein, hepatocytes radiating. At each corner, we will see portal triad. Portal triad means we will have hepatic artery, bile duct, and portal vein. Isn't it? Between the hepatocytes, we will have sinusoids. Okay. Recently only I told you. What is Barr body? The inactivated X chromosome is generally called as Barr body. Okay. If 2 X chromosomes are there in normal female, the one which is inactive is called as Barr body. Okay. And generally, the Barr body is not found in males because there is only 1 X chromosome. Okay. And how do you check for Barr body? We just take buccal smears and look under the microscope. See, this is histology of liver beta. Hexagonal hepatic lobules are this hexagon, hexagon, hexagon. Each hexagon will have central vein and these are all radiating hepatocytes. At the corner of each hexagon, we will have triad. This is the triad. Okay, hepatic artery, portal vein, and bile duct. This is the central vein. This is central vein. The 2 adjacent central veins are called as liver acinus. If you join 3 of them, you call it as portal lobule. Portal lobule. Is that clear, beta? Draw this. And whatever points are given down, you write. Okay, that is for histology of liver. Ink may go, I will resend. It shows less than 1 minute, no doubt. Still, if pancreas picture is there, because Meghna is joined after a long time, I want to show. See, these are the buds, no, beta? This is stomach and this is duodenum. During development, you will see birds are